My name is Femi. I run the Bitcoin Development Fund at the Human Rights Foundation. About 5 years ago, like is the tradition of the organization, we started putting our money where our mouth is. So we knew Bitcoin was a great tool, but we knew we had to invest in the technology, people building it, and getting it in the hands of activists. And so about 10 months ago, I joined the organization, and I have the fun job to give away money. So every quarter, we give $1 million in Bitcoin grants to projects that are technology projects that are building on the parts of Bitcoin we love that's great for activists. So the decentralization feature, the privacy feature, the security feature, things like that. But also we invest in projects that helps us get Bitcoin in the hands of activists. And that makes it easy for them to use. So whether it's translation projects or education, user experience projects. You guys are seeing what no one in the world has seen outside my team. You're going to meet the people that I'm happy to be giving funds to for the second quarter of 2025. Are we ready? Yeah. So the first person and project we're funding is a developer called Katria who's working on Mostro. Mostro is a peer-to-peer marketplace for buying and selling Bitcoin, created by Francisco, that allows people opportunity to buy Bitcoin in a way that is private by default. Katria has been working on the project, and she'll be helping to improve the usability of the platform. We're also funding InstaMouse. InstaMouse, if you're a developer from the West, you have good internet access, you have strong device, it's easy to set up the environment to start developing. Developer Kanzure has built InstaMouse, which allows you basically set up an environment to do Bitcoin development just on a browser. So you don't need to update or add or install anything. You just go there, get in a browser, and you can start contributing to open source Bitcoin projects. We're also funding our friends at the Bitcoin Design Foundation. I can see more in the audience. You may have seen in the last 2 days, user testing that's been happening at the CoCheck area. The guys at the Bitcoin Development Design Foundation are doing a lot around funding, around research, around education on the user experience of applications that are built on Bitcoin. We heard earlier Professor Krebs saying that people think Bitcoin is confusing. Well, to make it less confusing, we need to make it more user-friendly. And that's what the guys at Bitcoin Design Foundation are doing, and we're very, very proud to support them to do it. We're also giving funding to 256 Foundation. I can see Rod Scott's also somewhere in the audience. 256 Foundation have built they built the BitAxe for personal mining. But now they've just launched the Ember One. Ember One is a hash board. It's basically an ASIC where a typical BitAxe has one ASIC. This has up to 12, and you can configure it because it's modular. So you can have lots of them stacked on each other, which makes it easy for anyone, anywhere, to mine Bitcoin and keep the mining phase of Bitcoin decentralized, which we think is really critical for the technology. We've also given funds to the Seed Signer project, particularly my friend Keith. I think Keith is somewhere in the audience at the back. So the hardware for people to sign Bitcoin transactions, most of the ones that are popular in the market can be very expensive. They're also proprietary, and because they're also connected to the internet, they're traceable in some cases. So the Seed Signer project basically uses DIY tools to create an air-gapped seed signing tool, which works perfectly. And what Keith's going to be investing in is how they expand the amount of languages so that people can actually engage with the technology in the languages that they're familiar with. and as well as mentoring new contributors to the project. And we're really, really proud to be supporting that. We're also supporting our friends at Brink. Brink trains, funds, open source Bitcoin developers contributing to Bitcoin Core. And we're glad to support them because Bitcoin is as strong as people that are maintaining the foundational code. And Brink is supporting them, and we're very happy to support them to do that. We've heard a lot about privacy, and one of the methods through which you can actually bring more privacy to Bitcoin transactions is PayJoin. We're supporting a developer called Space Bear, who's working on the PayJoin dev kit. And the idea is that we can actually make PayJoin transactions almost default in most wallets that are being built in Bitcoin. So he's building the tooling that wallet developers can use to add more privacy into the transactions that are happening on their wallets seamlessly. So we make privacy default. We're funding an education project in Malawi called Bitcoin Boma. Malawi particularly is one of the poorest countries in the world, and they've experienced super hyperinflation at some point in the last few years. People's entire savings getting slashed by 40% simply by decisions between the government and the IMF. So we're funding this project that is helping to bring more people in that place and giving them the opportunity to actually safeguard their wealth using Bitcoin. We're really, really, really happy to be funding that project. You guys met Anja earlier, right? And Stringer News. So we're supporting Stringer News, which again is trying to make it easy for independent journalists to publish uncensored and get paid seamlessly using Nostar and Bitcoin. We're also funding Summer of Bitcoin. Is Adi in the audience? Summer of Bitcoin every year takes university students across the world and gives them an introduction into Bitcoin open source development with internships, with funding, with education. And we're very, very proud to be supporting them. We're also supporting, if you guys saw on the stage a couple of days ago, Sulaima talked about the conflict in Sudan. We're supporting Sudan Huddle, who's building Sudan's first Bitcoin on and off ramp that allows people get their local currency into Bitcoin and get it back into local currency where they need to make transactions. It's the first one in the country, and we're really, really proud to be supporting it. Now, again, the learning curve in Bitcoin can be hard. And the hardest thing that you want to do is try new technology and then lose your coins. It can be painful. And because Bitcoin transactions are irreversible, it can be hard. So this team's built Padawan Wallet, which is a learning wallet on Bitcoin, where people can actually try out new technology that's coming, but they're only using Bitcoin testnet coins, so that they're not actually risking their own Bitcoin, and they get the chance to practice how to send a coin join or a pay join or any of the new features that are coming with minimal risk. And so for us, we think it's a critical way, and it hopefully becomes part of the learning stack and the teaching stack for lots of the Bitcoin education projects that we're supporting now that are coming up in the space. So we're really, really proud to be supporting this. Abubakar talked earlier about decentralizing the developer base that's building Bitcoin. We're really proud to be supporting Brandon, who is a Bitcoin core developer from Kenya, who has been doing a lot of work, particularly on the decentralization and security side on Bitcoin core. He has more than 200 PR reviews and I think about 25 pull requests in the last few years. I'm from Nigeria. And in Nigeria, even when people can't speak English, almost everybody in the street can speak pidgin English. And these guys are building education products or translating education of Bitcoin in Nigeria in local language, which works to bring Bitcoin beyond the middle class, well-educated layer to people deep down in the rural parts of Nigeria, and we're really proud to be supporting this effort. I know it's a lot. Bear with me. I'll get there. So part of the challenges that we're also confronting, and you must have heard it at different points, is regulation and possibility of regulation to be an attack vector for Bitcoin. We're supporting the guys at Coin Center who do both research, advocacy, strategic litigation, as well as education of lawmakers in the US to make sure that policy and regulations do not cripple the possibility that people can use private, uncensorable money. So we're supporting them, supporting the great work that they've been doing for years, that we hope they continue to do, to make sure that the right to build freedom tech is not criminalized. The right to build freedom tech is not stifled by regulation. So we're really, really proud of this and look forward to what more that they'll do. We're also supporting, I don't know if she's in the audience, D++. D++ is a brilliant technical Bitcoin educator who specializes in using games and fun as a way to teach people Bitcoin. We're supporting her in scaling up her gamified approach so that, it becomes part of the toolkits of people who are educating people on Bitcoin across the world. There's this fallacy in education that if it is not serious, you're not learning. We believe it's the other way. So we want to support approaches that actually help people have fun while they're actually learning how to use the technology, and we're really proud of her work. We're also funding, is Charlene in the room? So Charlene recently published The Bitcoin Leap, how Bitcoin is transforming Africa. And she set up Satoshi Sister Circle, which is a community to support women who are getting into careers in Bitcoin from Africa, with networking, with mentorship, with education, with peer-to-peer support. And we think this is really vital. Again, as we're supporting this technology, we also need to decentralize the community that is building it. And we believe and we understand that women in the space need this kind of support. So we're really, really proud of this work. Brianna's launched Evento. One of the things activists have to do in the course of their work, and people in Bitcoin have to do in the course of their work, is mobilize. Get to meet in the same place. Probably you use Eventbrite. If you do, you need to pay. Then you're doing with fiat. Every single one of those is a vector for either the government to know who is coming, what things are being planned, and what you're paying. And they're creating Evento, which is a secure social events platform which integrates both Bitcoin and Nostr, so that activists and people in the space can mobilize on technology that is native and is secure and is private. And we're really, really proud to be supporting Brianna and the team in delivering this work. We've talked about signatures and how hard it is signing Bitcoin transactions. We're very proud to, again, extend the support to Blockchain Commons for their work around Frost. And Frost is a protocol that helps secure multi-signature signature wallets or multi-sig wallets, and with bringing more privacy, flexibility, and resilience into them. So it improves the signing, the multi-signature signing process in Bitcoin. Blockchain Commons have been advancing this technology, mobilizing developers, supporting developers who are building this tech, getting it integrated into at least 2 wallets as far as I know right now. And we're happy to support them to continue to grow that work, but also get them to extend it into more wallets. You met Anna earlier, who for a long time was the CFO of the Anti-Corruption Foundation. We're very proud to support this project that they have, which is called Prices Today, which basically tracks the difference in pricing of everyday goods in Russia as a result of the invasion in Ukraine, and putting that information in the hands of people to counter any propaganda that's coming from the Russian dictatorship. We're really proud to support that. 2 or 3 more. I'll rush through. We're very proud to support Eric, who's working on user experience improvements on eCash wallets, on eCash. So he's working on improvements on the Cashew protocol, as well as products that are built on the Fedimins protocol to make them easier to use by people, so that eCash becomes something that is ubiquitous because people just have fun using it in a seamless way. And we're really proud to support that. Finally, we're supporting Students for Liberty, one of the biggest organizations of students, university students in the world, that teaches students and that are interested in freedom and liberty. And they're running a whole month-long education campaign for students across the world, teaching them about freedom money. And we're very, very proud to support them in doing this so that we can get the next generation of leaders of business, of non-profits, in business, in government, knowing about freedom tech, knowing about Bitcoin. And we're really proud to support this work. Thank you very much.